Happy Sunday, y'all. Let's quickly recap what happened last episode. I got into a fist fight with the sentient pile of bones, got in touch with my darker side, and basically recreated Shore's algorithm in Notepad. A couple of things have happened since then. I increased my fire making level to 63, thanks to our discovery of how to make smoldering fires last episode. I also increased my fishing a bit by catching some lobsters and swordfish in Karamja. Now, I'm not sure if there's a better spot than Karamja to fish and bank these things, but if there is, I still haven't found it. I also effectively wiped out 3 generations of barbarians, but stopped because the loop they dropped was pretty bad. While I was looking for better mobs to kill, I did stumble across this monastery near the wilderness, which had significantly more people training in it. I figured it was probably a good idea to try it out a bit, so I switched to this monastery instead. The loot's quite frankly terrible, but they do heal you for free, so I don't have to bring any food here, which is definitely an upgrade over the barbarians. I also found a ladder that leads up to the 2nd floor of the temple, but it seems that only members of the Jedi Council are allowed up there, and they didn't want to let me on because I hadn't buried enough bones. So naturally, I larped as Anakin during Order 66. I stopped at 300 though, because it's a nice round number. Now, while I was making my trips back and forth from Karamja, I noticed these banana trees, and an idea came to me. What if I could activate that statue thingy using bananas? I mean, it makes sense, right? It's an ape statue, and it is kind of close to Karamja. So we're going to start off this episode by testing that theory out. Alright, so it is time for the moment of truth. Time to see if using the banana on the statue really does do anything. I guess not, that's kind of unfortunate. It is what it is, we'll figure it out eventually. Oh wait, actually, I wonder if the statue actually indicates like a spot, like a secret location that we can dig into or something. Like, you know those point and click games where there's like a statue and it really just indicates like either a teleport location or some secret underground passage that you can dig into? I wonder if it's that. Let's try that out. Nope, okay, well, it was worth a shot. Well, something else I want to try is getting into Melzar's maze again. We found this ladder around the corner a couple of episodes ago, and I tried fixing it with a hammer, which didn't work, but this time I have brought significantly more items, and hopefully some combination of these items will finally let me get access to this maze. What the heck is this guy doing? Okay, well that was pretty weird. Looked like he was opening and closing a map on the go. So there are a couple of things I want to try here. Maybe if I use the logs on the ladder, it'll work. Nope. Nope. And no. Okay. That's unfortunate. I was thinking maybe we could tie like a rope to this sewer pipe thingy and pull it open and crawl inside, but doesn't look like there's anything on the other end of that, so yeah, I don't think that would work either. Another theory I have is that the logs just aren't usable because they're kind of too obtuse to work with, so I was thinking maybe I could use this knife to, I don't know, like carve the logs or something. Okay, apparently I have to be a member to do that. Alright, so what about using an axe to chop the logs into more usable portions? Nope. Nope. And nada. Okay. Oh geez, I'm getting attacked by a hobgoblin. Okay, great. I'm getting attacked by another one. You know, they kind of look like regular goblins, just really bloated, as if they've been inhaling Doritos and Mountain Dew. I can relate, of course. Oh geez, looks like another one's lined up to f me up. Oh my god, okay. It's time for me to get out of here. Let's take this loot and get the heck out of here, dude. This is not what I was planning to do. Well, might as well eat these bananas now. Another thing that I had considered was that maybe we just need nails. I did go to the anvil in Varrock and try to make some iron nails, but it told me that it was a members only item, so maybe you just can't get into this maze unless you're a member or something. The final thing I want to try is just digging near the trapdoor. I really don't think this will work, but whatever. Nope. Nope. And no. Okay, so I'm pretty stumped. I'm pretty sure that the only way to get through this maze is just through this front door here. I'm not sure how to get the key to the front door, but I do know that eventually I'm gonna get into this maze. What if we can kick the door down? Okay, well that's not it. I don't know why I thought that was a kick. Okay, yeah, I got nothing. Alright, so I took a 5-minute break to think of alternative solutions, and one of the ones that I came up with that I think seems plausible is to get some piece of cloth somehow, douse it in oil, use it on the trap door or the front door, and burn them down. But I don't know how to get oil. I don't know how to get cloth, so that'll have to wait for another day. I guess for now we can just do a quest or something. Not sure which one, but maybe let's just go with the closest one to us. All right, so it looks like Pirate's Treasure is the next quest up, so let's go ahead and get started on that, shall we? So before I start this quest, I should probably mention that I have encountered my first spoiler. While I do have somebody filtering out all of the YouTube comments for me so that I only respond to non-spoiler comments, I didn't apply that same idea to Reddit. And a couple of days ago, I actually made a post on Reddit, basically just asking for feedback about my audio and a bunch of other things, like whether or not to even make this series public at all. And the community there has been tremendously helpful with their feedback and very friendly. That being said, I did run into my first spoiler, which is that aggressive random events no longer exist in the game. My original plan to confirm or deny the existence of aggressive random events was to chop trees in Drainer Village on the most populated world for about 4 hours and then watch the entire thing back in 16 times speed. The logic there is that there are roughly 15 people chopping willows at any given time on World 301, so 4 hours of that amounts to 60 hours of chopping willow trees. And that's thousands of willow trees. So yeah, the idea was if over the course of those hours, not a single tree spirit showed up, then I would know for sure, or at least then I could reasonably assume that the dialogue from the wise old man is either incorrect or outdated. But anyways, I guess we don't have to do that anymore. It is a bittersweet kind of moment because on one hand, I just saved myself 4 hours of chopping willow trees and watching like 15 minutes of footage. But on the other hand, I now have no clue where I'm going to upgrade my steel axe. Yeah, that's going to be pretty fun to figure out. Oh, and in case it needs to be said, like, this is obviously my own fault, by the way. Like, I'm not blaming anybody. I know people are just trying to be helpful, and realistically, if I was more intelligent with my filtering, this never would have happened. So it is what it is. As far as spoilers go, I do feel like it's a pretty minor one, so not the biggest deal in the world. While we're on the subject of spoilers, I did watch back my old episodes, and I feel like there's probably some things I should clear up. So back in episode 1, I made a bunch of jokes about fire damage. It was a poor attempt at humor, but in hindsight, I think maybe people thought it sounded less like a joke and more like I genuinely believed that fire damage may or may not have been a thing in the game. I promise you I already knew that it wasn't a thing. I mean, my free-to-play adventures might have been a really long time ago, but I'm not going to forget those long-ass fires that people used to light up in Varrock and being able to walk through them completely fine. So yeah, like I knew that fire damage wasn't a thing already. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. Alright, so with that insanely long ramble out of the way, let's go ahead and start Pirates of the Caribbean. Arrrrr Matey? Yeah, why not? Option 2. Arrgh. Arrrr. Okay. Alright, you know what? Let's, maybe option 1, actually. I'm in search of treasure. Treasure you be after, eh? Well, I might be able to tell you where to get some. For a price. What sort of price? Well, for example, if you can get me a bottle of rum. Not just any rum, mind. This is the inspiration for Jack Sparrow. I like me some rum made on Karamja Island. There's no rum like Karamja rum. Star Pirate's treasure? Hell yeah. Okay, I will bring you some Karamja rum. You're a saint. Although, it'll be a miracle to get it off Karamja. What do you mean? The customs office sucks. You seem like a smart dude, though. I'm sure you'll be able to find a way to get me my narcotics. Well, I'll give it a shot. Arr, that's the spirit. Alright, so off to Karamja we go for some rum. Gotta get some money first, though. It's time to head to Drainer Bank and get me some doubloons. I probably don't need all this stuff anymore, right? What's this? A limport root. I'm not quite sure what that's used for, but I assume it's reasonably valuable considering it's worth 255 coins on the Grand Exchange. It does seem vaguely familiar. I'm pretty sure that one of the clips that I cut out in episode 1, and I'll toss it up on here if I'm actually correct, was me having a conversation with the apothecary, and the apothecary mentioning that he could make us potions if we needed, provided we gave him certain ingredients. So I think the options were like anti-poison, strength potion, and one other one. And I think the strength potion required you to give him limpwort roots and coins. And I want to say the anti-poison potion required red spider eggs. So I found these guys called monks of Intrana, and if you'll recall, that's where the wise old man said he spent a lot of his formative years. It might be worth talking to these guys eventually. For now though, I'm just going to stick with Pirate's Treasure because I feel like I've already gotten detoured quite a bit this episode. Alright, so I'm on Karamja now. No idea where to get Karamja rum, although I'm pretty sure it's just this pub. Alright, so I bought some Karamja rum and a jug of wine. Not sure what the jug of wine would be useful for, but I figured, why not? And let's go ahead and travel back to Port Sarum. What happened to my rum? You pay the boarding charge of 30 coins, however the customs officer confiscates your rum before letting you board. Oh, you assholes. Alright, let's go back and try to figure something out. Maybe let's try talking to the customs officer. Can I help you? What unusual customs do they have here? Why do you ask? Well, you're a customs officer, right? I'm not that sort of customs officer. I don't know what you're getting at, buddy. Now, is there anything else I can do for you? That doesn't really tell me much. Okay, alright, so this time I have the rum in my backpack, and I'm gonna try talking to the customs officer instead of just immediately clicking travel. Because maybe that'll unlock some hidden dialogue or something that'll give us a hint on how to get the rum off the island. Okay, same thing as before. Can I journey on this ship? You can, but you'll need to be searched before you can board. Why? Because we have a ban on the import and export of certain intoxicating spirits. No, you're not putting your hands on my things. You're not getting on the ship then. Okay, that doesn't help. Let's try again. Alright, so I'm pretty sure option 1 just gets the rum confiscated, but let's go ahead and try it anyways. Search away. I've got nothing to hide. The custom officer searches you. Aha! Trying to smuggle Karamjan rum, are we? It's for personal use? Nice try. Now, I'll be taking that. The custom officer confiscates the rum. You'll need to find some way to smuggle it off the island. Alright, maybe we can talk to the portmaster for some hints? Hello. Sorry, but you don't look like much of a sailor to me. I mean, fair, I am decked out in a full set of iron armor right now. Oh, okay, never mind. It's just because he hates poor people. Okay, maybe Shipwright Sally? Okay, just kidding. She also hates poor people. Okay, maybe this notice board? Fair enough. It doesn't really make sense for my character to be literate unless I pay Jagex $20 a month. Okay, maybe Luthus? Dude, this guy's got a monkey on his back. That is cool as hell, dude. Hello, I'm Luthus. I run the banana plantation here. Ooh, I wonder if he can give us a hint on how to unlock that statue. Alright, let's get the tea on the customs officer. Well, I know her pretty well. She doesn't cause me any trouble anymore. She doesn't even search my export crates anymore. She knows they only contain bananas. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much a dead giveaway. We just have to stuff the rum into his crates, yeah? Really? How interesting. Where about do you send those to? There's a little shop over in Port Sarum that buys them up by the crate. I believe it is run by a man called Wyden. Okay, so seems pretty straightforward. We buy the rum, we stuff it in one of his crates here, and then we go to Wyden's shop and get the crates from him. Yeah, let's go ahead and give this a try. Use Karamjan rum on the crate. Why would I want to do that? What do you mean? Why would I not want to do that? Doesn't make any sense. Quest log perhaps? Doesn't really seem like it gives us much information here. Okay, let's search the crates. Maybe that'll give us a hint. Okay, that doesn't really tell us anything. What about this one? Okay, let's just talk to Luthus again. Hello, I'm Luthus. Let's try option 1. Could you offer me employment on your plantation? Sure, total stranger that I just met. There's a crate ready to be loaded onto the ship. You wouldn't believe the demand for bananas for a Wyden shop over there in Port Sarum. I think this is the 3rd crate I've shipped him this month. If you could fill it up with bananas, I'll pay you 30 gold. Okay, so this time it let me stash the rum into the crate. According to the dialogue box, I need to get some bananas to cover it up. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. I mean, while I'm here, I might as well just take as many as I can get, right? Also, the wine has an option to drink it directly, so I'm gonna do that and see what it does. Okay, so it looks like it lowered my attack by 2, and it gave me no other stats boost, so that's unfortunate. I guess the wine doesn't really have any practical uses for direct drinking, but perhaps it's like an ingredient in some more useful recipe, or maybe, it's just there for flavor. Alright, so we filled up the crate and we now have a lot of bananas. Hopefully we are good to travel back to Port Sarim now. Now we have to find Wyden's shop. Let's see if it says it on the world map. No. Okay, well, I mean, it's probably just this food store, yeah. Alright, so there's Wyden. Let's see what he has in stock. Ooh, I wonder how much he buys the bananas for. 1 GP. Okay, not the best. Let's see. Are there any useful items here that we don't have? I guess tomatoes, cheese, and chocolate we don't have, so why don't we just buy 1 of each? And it looks like that's the banana crate, so why don't we go ahead and search it. Hey, you can't go in there. Only employees of the grocery store can go in. Okay. Well, can I get a job here? Well, you sure are keen. You know what? I'll give you a go, complete stranger that I just met 5 seconds ago. Do you have your own white apron? No, I don't. Well, you can't work here unless you have a white apron. Health and safety regulations. You understand how food inspectors are these days. Okay, well, where can I get one of those? Well, I get all of mine over at the clothing shop in Varrock. They sell them cheap there. Oh, and I'm sure that I've also seen a spare one over in Garen's fish shop somewhere. It's a little place just north of here. Okay, well, I know where that is because that's where I bought my lobster cage and my harpoon. Boys, we are looking hella fine right now. Let's see if there's anything interesting up here. Ooh, some chests. Let's see. Nope, nope, nope. Maybe some lore? Nope. And no, there's that painting of the Mistlin King again. I wonder if it's possible to actually meet this guy in the game. Anyways, let's go ahead and get in here. Hey, you can't go in there. Only employees of the grocery store can go in. Bro, we've been over this. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Wow, you're so well prepared. You're hired. Go through the back, complete stranger that I just hired, and tidy up my storeroom for me, why don't you? Yeah, dude. You know what? I got you. You know, this game sure does involve committing a lot of crime. Where the heck is my Karamjan rum? Alright, I'm really confused. Do I just have to keep doing this until I eventually find the rum or something? Like, what's going on here? Maybe it's one of the other crates? Nope. Nope. And no. Okay. Dude, what is going on? I could have sworn that we put the rum in the crate. Maybe I took too long upstairs examining random things. I don't know. You know what? Let's just try it again. Here's another bot. I don't know why they all have the same getup, like the full melee armor with the air staff. Well, I guess the full melee armor is in common to all of the bots, but the staff of air seems to be pretty ubiquitous. Like, I don't understand. Like, it can't possibly be that hard to vibe code something that's better than this, right? Like, I feel like you should at least program the bot to fight the lesser demon in the wizard's tower or something. Not like a random seagull or a rat. Alright, round 2. Oh, looks like the rum is still in this crate. I'm guessing this thing never shipped off. Maybe we have to log out and maybe we have to like wait a little bit before this ships off or something. Or maybe we just tell Luthus that the job is done and then he'll send out the shipment. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try that out, and if that doesn't work, then I'm gonna log off and come back like half an hour later and maybe that'll work. I filled a crate with bananas. Well done. Here's your payment. Thank you. I'll be on my way. Okay, so he gave me 30 coins for that. Considering the amount of effort that took, I don't think that's worth it. Let's check to see if the rum is still in the crates. And it is not. Okay, perfect. Okie dokie, back to Wyden's shop we go. And let's try this again. Heck yeah. Alright, I got my rum. And I guess I give it to Redbeard Frank now. You know, as I'm walking to him, I realized I may have spaced out some of the dialogue that Luthus gave us. I have a feeling that he told us to talk to him when we were done with the bananas, so I guess I'll see you in the video later. Arrrrr Matey, have you brought some rum for your old mate Frank? Yeah, I got you. Now, a deal's a deal. I'll tell you about the treasure. I used to serve under a pirate captain named One-Eyed Hector. Hector were very successful and became very rich. But about a year ago, we were boarded by those nasty custom agents. Hector and the rest of my boys caught the hands, but I was one of the few that managed to escape. And check this shit out, look what I managed to get from his body. This be Hector's key. I believe it opens his chest in that old room in the Blue Moon Inn in Varrock. With any luck, his treasure will be in there. You know what? I'm not even gonna ask him why he didn't go get it. Well, we know exactly where the Blue Moon Inn is because that's where Jack Harlow goes to drown his sorrows, which we learned during Vampire Slayer. So let's head on over there. So this is pretty interesting. There's something called a canoe station, and it's got that transportation arrow that we've seen before with the Quetzal whistle and the fairy rain. So I think I'm going to go on the world map and see if... Okay, it doesn't tell us where it goes if we click on it, but I'm assuming downriver. There's one there. There's another one there. Oh, it goes quite far, doesn't it? Does it go upriver too? Seems like the canoes go quite far, almost into the wilderness. Something else that's quite weird is that whenever you hover over the transportation symbols, it just says transportation, right? Like, so for example, these say transportation. All the canoe spots say transportation. If we go look up the Hunter Guild, the Quetzal whistles also say transportation, but the fairy rain teleport locations say fairy rain, which is really odd because if the transportation was named after the item used, you would expect things like this to be called Quetzal whistle, right? If we go back to the canoe, oh, okay, that doesn't work. If we go back to the canoe, it also just says transportation, right? Like we would expect that to say canoe, you know, going by the same logic of fairy rain. So yeah, not sure why that is. It's pretty freaking weird. Yeah, I don't really get it. It must be some sort of like special transportation that's quite a bit different from all these other transportation forms. Or, you know, maybe that's just like leftover spaghetti code. Who knows? I guess while I'm here, I might as well confirm the apothecary dialogue. Yep, okay, so I was half correct. You do need a limpwort root for strength potion. You just also need red spider's eggs. And you also need chocolate dust and 2 limpworts for an energy potion. And limpworts and cadavers for an anti-poison. Okay, it seems like limpworts are used for all of these, so that probably explains why they're so valuable on the Grand Exchange. Dude, who is this guy over here? He looks like he's straight out of Sons of Anarchy. Anyways, okay, no getting distracted. No getting distracted. Okay, I mean, surely that's the treasure chest. I mean, look at it, man. Just look at it. The chest is locked. What? What do you mean the chest is locked? Where the heck did my key go? Wait, where the heck did my key go? Oh my god. Dude, what? How did I have lost the key that Redbeard Frank gave me. I should see if he has another. Did I put it in the bank or something? Oh my god, I really should play this game on more than like 3 hours of sleep. This is... Okay, that's the key, right? Surely? I guess I must have put it in the bank. Okay, let's try that again. Dude, how did I lose the key? I mean, I lose stuff in real life all the time, but it's usually not a thing that happens in video games for me. I guess I'll see when I watch back the footage. So I examined the key and it looks like that was the key I used in Ernest the Chicken. So I went ahead and got rid of that because I doubt we'll actually need it anymore. All right, let's try this again. Arrrrr Matey, I seem to have lost my chest key. Arrrr silly you. Fortunately for you, I, Redbeard Frank, a drunk pirate with a penchant for Karamjan rum, took the precaution to have another one made. Frank hands you a chest key. Okay, cool. Let's get out of here. You know, it's not that bad losing the key. I do get to enjoy the scenery a lot more, so definitely a nice bonus. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. The chest is locked. Okay, use chest key on chest. All that's in the chest is a message. Visit the city of the White Knights. Okay, that's Falador. In the park, Saradomin points to the X, which marks the spot. I mean, surely it's this, right? Alrighty, to Falador we go. So before I go to Falador, I think I actually want to go ahead and buy some clothes from the clothes shop, or at the very least, just check out what they have, yeah? They've got a red cape. I guess that might be kind of cool. Doesn't look like these other items are particularly interesting. Wonder if there's anything upstairs here. Doesn't look like it. They've got a nice old woman in a rocking chair called Iffy, just chilling. Looks like she's knitting or something. Oh wait, is that Iffy Knitter? Wait, I think we have to talk to somebody called Iffy Knitter for our clue scroll, yeah? I'm gonna go ahead and confirm that. Cheer at Iffy Knitter. Yeah, okay. Equip a chef's hat and a red cape. Well, we have the red cape. Do we have a chef's hat anywhere? Oh, we do not. Okay. Alright, maybe another day then. Honestly, the red cape kind of slaps. I think I'm gonna have to replace the forestry backpack with the red cape. All right, so I'm noticing a pretty odd mechanic in this game. It looks like whenever my run energy gets to about 20, my character just starts to auto run. Like, watch this. Okay, never mind, I guess. Man, I swear my guy just started running by himself. Dude, I kind of look like these guards. Sort of. I guess the only thing we really have in common is the square shield and the medium helmet setup. All right, so the thing says Ceredomin points to the X that marks a spot, and that's clearly this thing. I'm assuming we need to like dig there or something. Let's go ahead and give that a try. And let's go ahead and dig. Okay, that's pretty freaking random. All right, can't say I was expecting that, but it's pretty weird. Here, I'll bury you. If I dig again, is this guy gonna try to attack me? Or maybe I'd better wait for him to like look the other way first, like this. Congratulations, you have completed Pirate's Treasure. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, I wonder what's in the casket. Let's see, a gold ring, an emerald, and I think that was like 500 coins or something. Honestly, pretty solid. It doesn't look like this gives us any stats, but you know, it is a pretty big flex to have a gold ring, so no complaints here. There's a cute old man in the park called Certification, which is a really freaking weird name. In fact, I feel like all of the Knights of Falador have really weird names, and I wonder if those are like British puns or something. Because I remember like during the Night Sword, the guy that we worked for was called Survivin', which literally just sounds like surviving. So I wonder if this is also some like pun. Certification. Yeah, certificate. Yeah, I think it's yeah, I think his name is Certification. That's freaking hilarious, dude. Dude, what the heck is this? Oh my god, man. I mean, I have to talk to this random event. Okay, he's asking me to play a game of pinball. I mean, yeah, why not? Dude, I am just getting a huge blast of early 2000s nostalgia right now. Okay, I gotta poke the flashing pillars. Seems pretty straightforward. Oh, dude, I got 5 emeralds for that. It seems like emeralds are worth a lot, so definitely no complaints there. Anyways, I think we have enough footage for an entire episode. Some quick thoughts. I kind of enjoyed this quest. Kind of felt like a slightly less intense version of X Marks the Spot. I think my favorite part of it was when we had to get not 1 but 2 jobs from complete strangers that we had just met, and how our employment was basically predicated on whether or not we had a uniform that we could steal from the shop next door. Gotta love that old school RuneScape logic. Looking through the quest list, I think the next quest that I want to take on is the Corsair Curse, because it seems like it's another pirate quest. This one is apparently of intermediate difficulty, and I want to say that's the first intermediate difficulty quest we've encountered. I guess the Night Sword was also rated as intermediate. I don't know, I felt like that one was kind of easy actually. If anything, the hardest quest in the game so far is, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, Ernest the Chicken. So yeah, but anyways, yeah, I think I'm gonna take on Corsair Curse next time and probably like level up my cooking as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time.